Well, g'day everyone. I'm running a bit late tonight. Oh my goodness, I haven't even got my headphones on. It's been a bit hectic. Hectic, I say. Why is that? Because it's Songtember and it's the 28th of Songtember. Songtember is the month that we, me and others in the community decide to create, record and release a song from start to finish in the month of September. We do this every year. It's like flying north for the winter and the birds. Okay, maybe I haven't had quite enough sleep because I've been working tirelessly on my song, as I'm going to show you in this stream right now. Alrighty, so let's get to it, shall we? If you are in the live chat, please say g'day. I always like some company. If not, you don't have to say hi. It's fine. It's your choice. It's okay. But I do like the company. It's nice. Over here, we can see my song. And I just kind of want to sort of show you what I've gotten up to recently. I'm not going to play too much. I want a bit of a surprise, but it is finished. I've mastered it. This isn't the master. This is the working project. So when I master a track, I follow the old Mike Enjo methodology. Is that a thing? Because that's how I sort of learnt how to do it, is I export the waveform in here from this project and then I import the WAV file into a new project and then I do some stuff with things, a little bit of EQ, and then I add Ozone 11 from iZotope and do the mastering with that. And I also use some other tools to check that everything is good. And I'll show you here what I use for the mastering side of things. I use, again, iZotope's tonal balance control, and I also use Insight, which I will also drag over and make a little bit smaller. These are two wonderful little tools. Let's get rid of that. That show for me what the sound field is doing, if it's a nice stereo spread, like a good spread, and also if it's the right tonal balance as far as EQ for the whole track. And it has presets, and this preset is, of course, on EDM. You can import your own. I was going to, based on my reference track, but it actually sounds better based on the EDM. So I've tried a few different things. I have been doing lots of work since the last stream. But I'll play a little bit of the track and so you can hear or see what these tools do. Am I at the beginning? I am at the beginning. That's very handy. So I will play it a little bit and you can see how this all sort of starts. Hello, Ashley. You've been working hard too. Yeah, I'm a bit tired, but that's okay. You get that. This is also good. It has a loudness meter for integrated LUFs for those who wish to distribute your song on Spotify, etc., etc. So as it goes through the track, it'll increase and that sort of thing. But I have given this project some headroom, you see. So it's nice. It could be wider. It's not too bad. But as it starts, you can see it fills up that sort of image of what it's like. A bit bass heavy in this part of the song, but you'll see it change as the vocals come in. See how it changes there? So it's a bit more balanced for most of the song and right within there. So that's my goal with that, just to use these tools to help out. Again, these are very handy, not only throughout my project to assist me visually what my ears I can't trust. Everyone says, trust your ears. And I go, no, my ears are not trustworthy. They're just not. So let's just not go there. So I do appreciate the visuals as well as a good tool. So, and as I was chatting to Pete Johns from Studio Live today earlier, he's actually got a wonderful premiere coming up about half an hour or so after I finish my stream. So keep an eye out. Pete John's Studio Live today. Keep an eye out for that one. It's going to be a premiere of his mixing that he has done for his Songtember song. So keep an eye out for that. All right, so I'm going to basically go through instrument by instrument. There's been a lot done. So I basically did the checks, the EQ, the whole thing. So we start with the kick. Okay, so the kick, I ended up really, really bringing the kick up. So we've got some kick there. Yes, we have. So if you hear the kick soloed, so I've actually really brought up the kick right up there, so it's more of a kick sound. So did a bit of EQ there. I've also on everything put, again, Isotopes Neutron 4, and I've used the automatic feature on that. G'day, Bob. Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, catch the replay. I hope to, shed a bit of light on how I did my track. Might be helpful to others. So Neutron 4 is on every instrument track, and I just let the automatic side of things go. And this, the kick, of course, is side-chained with the bass. There's two basses, the sub-bass and mid-bass. So we've got some side-chaining happening there. Okay, so that's the kick done. All right, so as the track continues, we've got a snare coming up soon. Again, I added some high-end sparkles to the snare drum, and this has a send to a reverb. So you'll notice that I have a reverb, and if I put it on the snare here, you'll be able to hear that with the reverb, and it's got a little bit of sparkle on the top bit just to bring it up, so it just highlights and pokes through when the snare roll actually happens. The reverb that I've got for the snare, I ended up going with vintage Valhalla Vintage Verb, Fat Snare Room as a preset. I recently got Valhalla's Vintage Verb because everyone says, oh, Valhalla is awesome. And honestly, it is. It's pretty cool. So I decided to use that for the first time. Valhalla reverbs and virtual instruments are one of the few that don't ever go on sale. They say on their website they keep their prices low all year round, and I respect that. And I thought, well, it's been a year since I've wanted to get it, so I thought now is the time is right for this project, and I think it pays off. So I was pretty happy in getting that. There's no EQ on the actual snare reverb itself. So that's fine. It's just as is. Now, the crash. I have got the crash here. Did I do anything? So you'll notice that on all the tracks I've got FabFilter Pro Q3, and that is just basically rolling off the really, really low bottom end. Probably could be a little bit more. And again, Neutron 4 of all the EQs and the compression and everything that it automatically detects, and if it sometimes it sounds a bit off, and usually it's the exciter and the sculptor that is a little bit over the top, but for the most part, cymbals, it picks it up automatically and it matches the tone and it works. So for that, that's pretty much all for the crash, other than I've done a send for a bit of reverb to the vocal reverb bus. So I set up, interesting. So let's hear the crash, and we'll hear what that sounds like. Where's the vocal reverb? So without the vocal reverb, and, well, that's not it. So that's without the vocal reverb. And then if we go to with the vocal reverb, there we go, that should be better. Just sounds that little bit better and has a nice tail on there for the reverb, which is really, really nice. All right, moving along. So as I say, I've done a fair bit of work here. Did I do any EQ for this one? Nope, just chopped off the bottom so we don't have a muddy bottom. Okay, so then we've got the reverse crash. I don't think I did anything with that. No. So that sounded all okay. Whoops. Reverse crash. So in conjunction with the crash, that's where it sounds good. So happy with that. That turned out really well. The open hi-hat. Now I did do a bit of EQ on this one, I think. Whoops, that one. There we go. So a little bit of EQ on this, added a little bit of sparkle up the top end. So we can hear what's been added there. And again, it just helps it to poke through the mix a little bit more. What else? Closed hat. Don't think I did anything with that. Did I? Oh, yes, I did. Okay. I can't remember what I did. All right, so the closed hat. Again, got a little bit of sparkle here. Got that real tapping, annoying tapping that you know you want your closed hats to have, but it's in a good way. Again, I've got Neutron 4 there, but I've also got interesting closed hi-hat. Why have I got that there? I'm not sure. I don't think I need that because that is for the kick drum. Got a I was going to put something there. I ended up not using it. There you go. So these things happen when you're in the middle of production. And I must have been late night when I did that one, but that's okay. I put it there but didn't use it. That's all right. Okay, now clap. Very important, the clap. So let's see what I did there. I think, again, just with the EQ, just added a little bit of sparkle at the top. And as I was doing a roll-off with everything down the low end, I thought I may as well just use the same EQ. Help on the old CPU. Right. So next are the basses. So we've got the 2 synth basses here. Now I did do a bit of processing on these and I panned them. So one is panned to slightly to the left and one's panned slightly to the right. Again, just to give it a little bit of stereo width because I did change it. I had in this part here, I think it was, I only had one bass playing. I decided just to have both basses playing at the same time and just separate them a little bit. So that worked out well. With this one, what happened here? Nothing. That's just the cutting off of the low end. Good. But this does have with the kick. So this has the side chain with the kick. So every time the kick comes in, the bass is ducked, as you can see, and so it just ducks the bass sound so the kick comes through. Because with all trance music, kick is king. So you want the kick to be the one that shines through. And I think I pretty much did the same with this one. Not as much there, but it's just enough. It is the sub bass, so it's just cutting it enough. But it works. So I did that. I don't think I did anything else. No, not with that one. Alrighty. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. So that was the kick with the basses. The other one that's the original Acid 5 from Arturia, and what I did with that was I played it and I actually rendered it to audio to give me the exact sounds that I wanted. So I don't know if I did anything with that one. No, I didn't. So that one is as is, but I made sure, because I really like this sound, that it was just really present in the mix. So it took me a long time to mix it, and I used these headphones, and I used these headphones, and I used my monitors, and I used my earbuds, and at midnight last night I used my car stereo, and I apologise now to my neighbours if you heard doof, 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 doof coming from someone's car stereo. That was me in the driveway. So yeah, I checked a lot. So my process, I don't know what others do, but my process is to get a project to its final mix. I check it on as many ways that I can check it, as many as possible, because everything varies so much. I find my monitors are pretty true sound, but the bass is hard to hear. These headphones, they're a bit bass heavy. My other headphones are fairly balanced. My car is definitely bass heavy, which I love. I mean, it's the main point of why I buy a particular car is based on the car stereo. My earbuds are not bass heavy at all. So, yeah, it was a real bit of a challenge, but I wanted this bit to stick through. So this is a really cool sound, especially with the reverb that's naturally on it as the instrument. So it was hard to get that in the mix and sitting right, and it was also, I found, challenging again to get the mix left with enough headroom. So meaning, so it's not peaking, it's not at 0 dBs, but I was good this time. I was better this time. And I got the final mix, I think, down to about minus 6 dBs, which for me is pretty good because usually it rides around minus 2 or 3, and then I have to normalise it and then master it. But I didn't have to normalise it this time. It was a good range, I think, this time. So I was happy with that. All right, we get on to the plucks. Say that properly. This is where a lot of the automation came in. Oh, yeah, and the automation for the snare. So I did the volume automation on the snare, as you can see. So I didn't play that. Let's go back to the snare, and it'll play with its reverb as well. G'day, Pete. How you going? What else is playing there? That's just weird. I've got something else playing. You, stop it. There we go. So the automation is for the volume for the snare. So the snare rolls increase. And I think it sounds better with the reverb. Sounds a bit flat and a bit dull there. So with the reverb, just makes it sound a little bit better. A bit more realistic. So yeah, happy with that. So that was the first bit of automation I did, was the snare rolls, and then down with that's right, the plucks. So the first thing I did with the plucks is I did a bit of EQ, and again I added a little bit of sparkle so they would poke through. Somewhere. Hello. Where are they? Ah. Here. Here we go. Just to get that real electronic sound. So I did a bit of EQing there. I also added one of Sound Toys' Decapitator, and I added some tinsel, which made it sound a little bit more interesting as well. So I'll go back and we'll hear that without and with it. So that's with it, and that's without. So it just adds that just tiny little bit of sparkle to it. It's pretty cool. So I was happy with that. And then we've got over here, what we have is I used the, yes, I did. I used FabFilter Pro Q3 automation as a low filter, and then it brings it up, which is really cool to watch actually. So I did that, and I did the same with the Starfall here for this one. And added a bit of sparkle too. And again added the Decapitator and just a little bit of tinsel on top to make it just sort of sparkle and shine and sort of poke through the mix a little bit. So yeah, I was happy with that. Oh, there we go. That's the Starfall one by itself. So it sounds really cool when all of them are together. As you can see, I did the same sort of automation on FabFilter Pro Q3 for the leads as well after that particular, at the end of the breakdown, at that break, that drop. Alrighty, so we come to the leads, and where are we? I think with the leads, I just did the the change here. So again, did the automation for the sweep. Hey Michelle, welcome. Nice to see you here. So that's really cool. And then I've got the similar but different, but no, it's pretty much the same, for the other leads. And the way I do that is the most easiest way is to get Fab Filter up, put it on right, and just move something, just move that note, put a note in, move that note a little bit, and then it leaves you with all the information here, and then I go in and manually, put the right amounts in and just basically draw it in manually, and that gives me much better control than trying to do it recording it. So it just makes it a lot easier. So with all of those together, they do sound quite cool when they come in with the filter. So let's play that. There we go. So that was that. I was pretty happy with that bit. Now we go to the pads. Now I did something similar with the pads in a couple of spots. So you can see where the automation lanes are of the automation to change filters and volume and all that sort of thing. So I did something similar with the pads over here. Let's go this bit. What did I end up doing here? I think it was just, so that was just, again, the low pass with that one. And I think the same with that one. Yeah. So I didn't do too much other than use the low pass to produce this sort of effect. And I'll play those two together. And one of the things I do find is, when you hear it all together, it sounds really good, and then you have a sleep on it, and then you come and listen to it the next day and you go, no, I don't like that. So, that happens. It's okay. So let's listen to the leads and the pads together. As the filters are opened up. That sounds really cool. So pretty happy with that. What else? Okay. Now I've done my song. It's all finished. It's mastered. I haven't put it through my distributor is DistroKid. And so I'll be doing that probably tomorrow sometime. I won't get a chance to do it tonight. I want to make sure actually I'm still working on the album art. So I'm looking at doing that. But in tomorrow's stream, I will be spending time doing the video, of which I still haven't done last year's video. I'm hoping to do that soon. But yes, do a video for it, so it's done. I want it all done. So the 29th of September, I'm giving myself until the end of 30th September to have it done. I know for Pete's show, the show I think is on the 8th. Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Sunday the 8th, Monday the 9th, whatever it is. I think it's Monday morning the 9th in Australia, which is Sunday the 8th for the rest of the world, I think. But there's a form on Pete John's Studio Live Today Songtember website, so you can put your details of your song if you've done a song for Songtember or part song even, doesn't matter. So hopefully that I will put all that through and the link to my video on YouTube at that point in time. And if you're subscribed to my channel, hint, hint, there's a plug, nice segue, clicky bits below. If you're subscribed and you ring the little cowbell, you'll actually be notified when my song comes out on YouTube with the video, which will be before it's shown on Pete's show. So keep an eye out for that one in the coming days. As I said, I'll be working on it tomorrow, and I'm not going to play the song between now and then anyway. You'll have to wait. And then it will be on, I'll be putting it on Bandcamp first, so you can actually purchase it outright, or you can stream it if you choose to on all the usual places, the Spotify's, the YouTube Music, the Amazon Music, the Apple Music, the Deezer, Twaddles, I don't know. There's lots. You know who you like music with and stuff, with things. It'll be there. And I'll have clicky bits in the video description once I've done the video, of which I'm doing tomorrow. Oh, and why I was saying all of this is because I've finished my mix, but Pete Johns is after my stream shortly, in about an hour's time or so. He's going to be premiering the video of the mix that he did with all the feedback from everyone in the community, which is lovely. All right, let's continue with this. I have my sound effects, which are pretty cool. I really do like these sound effects at different points in the song. I don't think I did too much with these. No. Left them as is because they've already got a pan and a delay and a reverb and everything built into it. So that was fine. That's that effect. The counting comments at the start, again, I didn't do anything with that one either. That's at the beginning and in the middle and in the end. Oh, almost heard some of it. Oh, the boom. Now, I had troubles with my boom. Not everyone says that. I didn't think that would ever be a sentence I'd say, is I've had troubles with my boom. But I did have troubles with my boom. Now, I'll explain why. And I'll show you why. So I was listening to this, as I said, on my headphones, my earbuds, my monitors, and my car. And it wasn't until, I was in my car, because it's more bassy, I noticed that this didn't sound right. Nope, that's not what happened. Let's go in here. And I had the note like that. Watch the sample. And this is what was happening. And I noticed that when I was listening to it in the car, I thought, that boom is stopping halfway through. I then realised what I'd done and went through all of my booms and fixed all of my booms all the way through. So when they actually play, you hear the entire sample, which has a natural fade out. So that was a trick for young players that I wasn't aware of, and I didn't realise until after my second mix and master that I did last night, and the neighbours were listening to as I played it in my car at midnight or so last night. But so I fixed my boom. Everyone needs to fix their boom. Warzone Devastator is what I used to create this sweep, which I turned into an audio track. So that one's muted, so we can listen to that one. I don't think I did anything to that other than I've faded in and out at the ends just to make sure that I get rid of any clicks. You can't really hear that too much except in one particular spot where I think it's pretty much the only thing that's playing, yeah, at this point. So when there's a drop, and I'll play all of it for that little bit so you can hear it. There's a sweep coming in. So that's a little bit of it poking through, but it just contributes to the overall sound for the other bits where it's appropriate for the bits. Okay, now we get onto the vocals, which I have been procrastinating about for the last 40 minutes. Now, a note for my vocals. I'm still having problems with my voice from this virus. I spoke to a friend of mine who is one of my neighbours and friends who lives nearby, and she said, yes, I know so many people in the area that have had this virus, and the cough is persistent for 6-8 weeks plus. I still have a cough. And I said, I keep losing my voice. And she said, yeah, that's part of it. Yay. And spring has sprung. Yay. So it's hay fever season as well. So there has been much sneezing and coughing and scratchy throats and things, as well as all the wonderful Australian wildflowers are sprouting up everywhere at the moment, which is beautiful and lovely, but I can't sing. So my vocals I had to do a lot of work on. I actually watched during the week some interesting footage regarding Silverchair. There was a special on Australian Story, which is an ABC production, Australian Broadcasting Company Corporation, production. And they did a special on Silverchair, and they showed Daniel, the lead singer, at, I think it was a Jay Leno episode that they performed on years ago, and he had lost his voice, and I felt for him so much. I try not to perform live when I've got laryngitis. I tend to get a lot of laryngitis throughout my life. I don't know whether it's because I'm a singer or not. I don't know. But you just can't sing. It has the chance to lead to permanent damage. But I struggled to listen and watch as it was a horrible, horrible thing. And my voice hasn't come back in order for me to record these properly. So they don't sound the best. I've had to do a lot of work to tune them, to pitch them correctly. I can't hear properly because my bad ear has blocked up and is not working completely. So when I recorded the vocals, I thought, oh, yeah, that sounded great. And then I started working on them, and it's like they were all over the place. So it is what it is. So I ended up doing a bit of work. I'll take the reverb off so you can hear my dry vocals.
One moment.
Bit rough.
In time and space. This moment. In this place.
Now, I did also do several recordings, so I've got one to be able to go left and right. So it just gives it a bit more width.
One moment in time and space. This moment in this place.
Wow, that's interesting, Michelle. Daniel Johns made the ABC take it down from iView today, so we can't watch it now. There's a lot of animosity between the lead singer and the bass and drummer. Yeah, I thought that. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a pleasant thing to watch, so I'm not surprised. But I sort of am. I mean, it is what it is. It happened. Interesting. Thanks for letting me know about that one, Michelle. Yeah, I've been following that story because, I'm a bit of a Silverchair. I mean, I like their songs. They've got amazing songs. and amazing group. I had no idea that they were so young. Yeah. The ABC now too. Yeah, be interesting. Interesting to see how that happens. Yeah, what happens. Anyway, I'm certainly not Daniel Johns by any means. So my singing's not too bad, but, you know, it's okay.
This moment in this place.
So it sounds okay. It's not the best, but it sort of fits this song anyway. It's a bit, it got to a point where it's a little bit auto-tuned sort of sound, and I thought, well, it kind of fits this song anyway. Added some reverb to it, and when I was doing this, I wasn't sure whether to have reverb on the left and right as well, whether that was going to be too much reverb, and turned out after listening to it over and over and over and over again over the last few days, I did have a bit of a rest in between, but I found it was too much reverb and it was building up. So I've only got reverb on my lead vocals in the middle.
One moment in time and space, this moment.
And it sounds okay.
In this place.
So what did I do? And yes, you will hear the crash cymbal come through there. Why did I do that? Interesting, I hear you say. I also today realised that I'd forgotten to do something. I was listening to it again going, that doesn't sound right. The de-esser was turned off, and so it was not enough de-essing, and so there was just T's and things, especially at the start.
One moment.
You can actually listen to it.
In time and space.
Oops.
This moment.
So you can hear that S and T's and things through there. Okay, you can also hear the crash cymbal. Not what I wanted. But yeah, so, and I did the same with the left and the right. I ended up, unfortunately, isotope, honestly, every time it brings it up, it's way too big. The de-esser was off. So it was very pronounced, the T's and S's and things. One moment. It was like, okay, that's really sticking out too much.
This moment.
So if we just
in this place.
So turn that off. So yeah, with the de-esser on, it certainly made a bit of a difference, but I couldn't turn it up too much because the problem then was Pete Johns' cousin Daniel did well. I was 15 when he and the boys hit the scene, also at 15. Okay, I was just a little jealous. Oh yeah, not really my hashtag, not really my cousin. Yeah. Yeah, look, yeah, they're a bit younger than me, the old Silverchair. That's possibly why it wasn't as much on my radar. But still love their music. And yeah, didn't realise I was so young when they went through so much. So lucky they survived it all, really. But hey, it is what it. Yeah, I'm not going to finish that sentence. It's just weird. So we've got more de-essing and things on there than were before. And what I learnt from that, the big lesson, was that the habits I've created for myself and learnt, I guess, from classical singing is to spit out the consonants. So, you know, one moment in time and space. I'm used to spitting them out. when you're working with and I've invested a lot into a really good microphone, and it picks up everything. It is great, but because it picks up so much and the consonants and that sort of thing, I've then got to dial it all back. So I need to learn to not. There's no need for me to spit out the consonants the same as I would on stage, and that's a different style of singing that I have to learn, and I will over time. So I'm getting better at it, but de-essing was one of the big things. Now, the other thing I want to show you is something that I was looking forward to playing with, which was Nectar 4, which is the new toy or updated toy from iZotope. And I played with a thing called, that's interesting, it's not on here. Oh, it is on. Why is it not on? That's bizarre. Okay, let's... do I need to have that there? Maybe, I don't know. It should work. In any case, it was definitely working before. Yep, it is on. Yep, voices is on. Okay, that's cool. So there's a different way of using Nectar 4 if you've got the old version of Nectar 4. They still call it Nectar 4, so I wasn't sure about this. I've used a reference. So I have used another song as my own reference for the vocal track. You can use, and I will bring it up on the screen. Here it is. Here's one I prepared earlier. This is iZotope Audio Lens, and for a while they were actually giving this away free. I don't know whether that's still the case, but you can, and you can see there which song I've referenced very loosely for my song. But you can actually, whoops, cancel that. You can actually capture the a cappella for the voice. So you can do this from any stream on your computer, as long as it can listen to it through your computer. You can do any song anywhere sort of thing. So you don't actually have to own the song or anything. You can do it from a YouTube video or whatever. And if you put it on a cappella to capture the part of the song for a small amount of time, it will actually capture the EQ of that vocal, which is very, very cool, which is what I did. And it's trying to match that for my vocals, so it gives a similar sort of feel. Now, what I also did, that's the reason why I can't turn voices on and off. I just realised that was the other bit of automation I've done. So what you'll see is this coming up. And what I've done is you'll see this line here where it's basically turning on and off. And you'll hear the difference. So I'll play this bit, which is, I'll make this a little bit smaller. If I can. Smaller. Make it smaller. There we go. Okay. So this is the voices, which is a new thing. Well, an updated. They did have something similar in the old version, but this is without the voices.
This moment in this place.
So that's just my vocals. And yes, you'll hear the cymbal because that's going through the reverb. Have I got the reverb on? Where is the reverb? It's gone. I've lost it. Nope. Where is the reverb? There's a snare reverb. I can't find the reverb. It's disappeared on me. That's right. Oh, there's a reverb bus. That's bizarre. That's still coming through. Anyway, let's ignore that. So this is where the voices have been turned on, and you can see now the voices button can turn on because it was trying to read the automation earlier. That's why I couldn't put it on. See, again, pepcac. Problem exists between the keyboard and the chair. Voices is interesting because you can have, this is set to moody, but there's all sorts of settings for uplifting and lush, and you can have a whole range of different voices, a third above, a third below, and all the rest of it. And it basically, well, you'll hear it. If I can press the right buttons. Here we go.
One moment in time, time never lasts. In the blink of an eye,
Does it automatically.
this moment has passed.
It's so cool.
I will hold
As long as you've got the right
on to
key,
this
or
moment,
you can get it to detect the key as you play your song.
in good times and bad, it's all that we have.
And I've got it turning off.
One moment.
So it's just my voice again, which is really, really cool. Now, when you put that together with the left and the right and the reverb, it sounds something like this.
One moment in time,
Which is pretty cool.
never lasts. In the blink of an eye, this moment has passed. I will hold on to this moment, cherish the love that we have. In good times and bad, it's all that we have. One moment in time and space.
So pretty happy with that. Now, the other thing that I had to learn to do, which I have wanted to do for a long time, but I haven't had the opportunity, is on the reverb bus. So I have, what have I got set up here? So I have Valhalla Vintage Verb, and the preset is Amazing Vocal. I thought that sounded good, which apparently is a smooth plate. It sounds amazing. It works just as a preset. Good-o. I also wanted to try a little bit of Echo Boy, and I went through several presets and I found this one, Vox Delay plus Saturation, which makes it sound really nice. I then added a compressor. Why did I add another compressor on top of everything else? Well, for this reason, if I play a little bit of it, yep, so if I play a little bit of it,
This moment,
you'll see this happening.
in this place. One moment.
It's a side chain. So what's happening is every time
This moment, in this place.
every time that my vocals come in, it's actually going to make the reverb duck. So the reverb doesn't keep reverberating for the entire time. So that's the reason for that. And it's like, I like that technique. It's really, really cool. So without it,
In time and space.
it just loses clarity.
This moment,
And with it,
in this place. One moment.
so that was a must. And that's just a stock compressor in Cubase. So I just threw that on there for a bit of side chaining. And the other one I did was a bit of what apparently, and I got this information from Chris Salim from Mixdown Academy, from his YouTube channel, is basically this, they call this the Abbey Road cut, I believe. I think that's what he called it. Basically, a bit of EQ to cut off the bottom end and cut off the top end and a little bit of the middle of the reverb itself.
In time and space.
So you get rid of the build up at the bottom, build up at the top, and just duck a little bit of it so it's not too much in your face. Otherwise, what happens is
Cherish the love that we have.
that's without
In
it.
good times and bad, it's all that we have. One moment in time and space.
Again, just provides that little bit of clarity and bring the voice forward.
In this place.
But but you still get that lovely, as you can hear, get that lovely tail at the end of it. Now, I wasn't sure whether to put the cymbals through to the same reverb or not, because I wanted it to sound like it was in the same room as the vocals. But the good thing about it, I think, and is there a right or wrong? I don't know. But the good thing about it is that when my vocals come in, the reverb of the cymbal ducks down, which I think is good because it's the mid to top end, which is where my vocals sit anyway, when I'm singing high especially. So I think it sounds good and it worked out well. So that's the vocals, which I was really pleased about the automation. I've got a bit of volume automation there. I noticed after many, many listens that there were bits that I was just, this needed a little bit of a boost through the mix. This needed a little bit there. That needed a lot when I recorded that. I'd almost lost my voice completely, so it's a little bit lacking. This bit was okay, this bit was okay, and this bit needed a little bit. So I had to work a little bit of magic on the vocals. Unfortunately, I would have liked them to have been a bit more natural per se, but I did have to do a little bit of work on them. I've kept all my original vocal takes in here just because I do. That's why I still had that on solo. That's why we heard the crash all the way through. That's okay. All right, so I added then, I know we're running out of time and Pete's stream is on soon. So I added a choir. Which choir did I use? I can't remember. Who was it? I think it was one of 8DIO's choirs, because I really like their choirs. It is the Lacrimosa choir. Just some R's. I've got to say that carefully. No one's behind. But added some R's. And we've got soprano, alto, tenor, bass, and they're all on different thingies, so I could do them separately. But the one thing that I did do is I did some automation for the modulation through, so it comes in quietly, builds up, and sort of swells. As you can see the marks through there, and I copied the swells for all of them throughout. So the choir sounds like this. And these are just the plain chords. I haven't done anything fancy with the chords. I was going to, and I thought, no, it'll stick out too much. I just want them just to be noticeable there in the mix. So it just builds up a little bit. Right, and then last but not least, we have the pianos. Now I had to do a little bit of work on the pianos. I did change the chords a little bit. So it changes on the second beat, and it's just a chord inversion, just for the start. This is the Noir piano from Native Instruments, part of their complete library. I've got this on a ping pong delay within the instrument, which I absolutely love. So it's my own, it's one of their presets, which I've tweaked a bit and saved as my own preset. Their preset had things like the sounds of the foot pedal and other ambient sounds in the piano, which I didn't like as much. So I haven't done too much to the piano other than just bring the volume up just a little bit throughout those bits, just so they poke through the mix. And that, my friends, is it. Song done. Now, do you want to hear it all? Well, you'll have to wait. I'll play a little bit. I'll play just a little bit as a teaser, and you'll have to wait till it's released in the next couple of days. If you subscribe, you'll hear it. If you're on Pete John Studio Live today, in about a week's time, I'm hoping that it'll be played on that show. And Pete usually only plays, about a third to a half of a song, something like that. Doesn't play the whole track. Keeps you waiting. So you can wait till then. Or if you follow me on social media, all the clicks and links are in the clicky bits below, then you'll be able to hear it on Spotify when it's released and all those wonderful things. I'll be releasing it straight away. I'm not going to delay it or have it late or anything. So it's an okay song. I'm happy with the way it's turned out. I wish my vocals were a bit better. I think I've done everything I wanted to do with it. I wish I had a little bit more knowledge, but that comes with time and practice. So in saying that, on that happy note, I will finish the stream there and you can have a little bit of a taster of what it sounds like. And then in the next stream, I will be looking at doing the video for it. And so, yeah, I'll be putting a video with a song. It'll be what do they call it? The wordy lyric video thingy. Got to work out how to use that yet. So I do all of my stuff in Adobe Premiere Pro. Yeah, that's the one. So my voice is going again. So yes, until then and a bit more, take care. Thank you for joining me in this stream. Pete Johns from Studio Live Today. His stream is coming up next, his premiere. So go over to his channel and take a look at that soon. You've got time to get a cuppa. Michelle and of course Ashley, thank you all for joining me in this stream. I'm happy with the outcome of this song. I think it's been a very fruitful Songtember. I've definitely done more and done better based on the year of experience that I've had. So I wish I wasn't sick for a week of it. It's been a bit rushed in the last few days, but I'm really happy with the way it's turned out and the amount of work I've put into it, the amount of things I've done to it to make it sound pretty good, I think. I can't trust my ears, so I think it sounds okay. We'll find out soon enough. All right, I shall play this, my friends. Until then, a bit more. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Yes. So Pete Johns, he's reviewing his community mix notes, so you can get his final mix done as well. So yes, we're all racing to the very end. I've got to finish my album art and get ready for tomorrow morning's live stream and get all this stock footage. It's not going to be of me. We're going to have other visuals this time. So maybe I'll star in a video in the future. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let's listen to a little bit of this and take care, everyone.